Be giving you guys a guide on Pyramid Head, my overall opinion, how to play him, good perks on him, and, well, generally just him, I guess. He has a standard speed of 115, 32 meters. I'm not stupid. And he is overall a very good killer ending chases. Like, honestly, if a good Pyramid Head is playing him, he will honestly just destroy you, and you will not have any chance to throw it on a pallet unless you're like Noob 3 or something like that. But now let's get on to his power. His power is called Rites of Judgment, and what he does is he holds L2 and he makes a trail or a trench in the ground, and it has a new status effect with it called Torment. Anybody that steps over it can be inflicted with Torment. And what this basically allows them to do is it allows them to be sent to the Cage of Atonement, which is a special hook that is only for him. It acts like a standard hook, but perks for Survivor and Killer will not work. So anybody running, you know, Pop Goes the Weasel, Barbecue Chili, nah, doesn't work. I tried it, and I was so stupid for trying it because I run my normal build, and that was a fun game. But anyways, back to it. Also, whenever they are inflicted with Torment, they have this little barbed wire effect that follows them. It's like a little trail that goes behind them. It's pretty easy to see, so all you blendettes, have fun trying to blend when you have that. And he also has a special attack, and this special attack is called Punishment of the Damned. While he has his Rites of Judgment in the ground, and he's holding L2, if you click R2, it will basically make a shockwave in a complete straight line. You cannot turn this. Once the shockwave is started and it comes out of his sword, it cannot be turned. And this will deal 1 state of damage if it hits. If you miss, it'll have a cooldown. I don't know if it's longer or if it's shorter if you hit or not, but all I know is it has a cooldown. Also, he has a special Mori, which is pretty cool. It's called Final Judgment. Basically, if they're on their final hook and they have Torment, instead of sending them to the cage, you just slam your sword into them and it just kills them. And that's them out of the game. This is pretty good for all you altruistic survivors that are trying to body block. Yeah, I've tested it. If you get hit when you're body blocking, it will inflict it with you're broken. So yeah, this basically is a complete counter to body blocking. Well, not really, you can still do it, but I would recommend it. Next is Trail of Torment. After kicking a generator for 60 seconds, you are becoming undetectable, meaning no Territus, no red stain. And the generator will be revealed in a yellow aura to all survivors, which I think that's what makes this perk pretty stupid. He's gonna be approaching where I am in a few seconds, and I better hide. And they can all know that just because the generator turns yellow, and it can only be activated every 80 seconds. Next is Deathbound. A survivor heals another survivor for a health state at least 32 meters away from the killer. The survivor performing the healing action will scream, revealing their location, and activate Deathbound for the next 60 seconds. During that time, the survivor will suffer from the oblivious status effect when further than 16 meters away from the healed survivor. Basically meaning, if they're far away from them, then they're not going to know if the killer's coming, they don't hear a Territus, they don't see a red stain, and yeah. So overall, honestly, I think his best perk would probably either be Deathbound or Trail of Torment. It's stuck between these two. They both have things that are pretty stupid. I don't like the fact that it makes them scream, and it doesn't really... If it was an aura, that'd make this like one of the most pretty good perk. It would make it a pretty good perk if you could actually see their aura. And that's what kind of makes this perk go a little bit lower than what I really want it to be. And of course, Trail of Torment, I've already speak because it reveals the generator to the survivors. It's kind of stupid. It makes it kind of doesn't make me really want to use it. But yeah, that's that. And I'm gonna do a little stupid transition so that way we can move on to how to actually play him.
Hey, yo, DJ, put a nigga back to the record, baby, and give me...
Probably just skipped ahead to this part because a lot of people want to know, and I actually spent so long. I mean, the killer came out, on the 16th, I think? Oh my god, I'm so bad with dates. It came out a while ago, and I literally didn't upload a video on him for like a whole week, maybe 2. and that was mainly so I can get good at him. I wanted to. I don't know why I didn't. I'm stupid. I should have channeled out a video for it just for them views, but I'm dumb. But anyways, let's move on to the way I think is the best way to play him. There's two ways that I see the best way to play him. There's the one that is the sane human being, the one where you don't be a complete asshole with him. And you're probably wondering what that means. Basically what I'm saying by that is don't use a slugging build. And you're probably also probably sitting here thinking, why the fuck are you telling me about a slugging build, you goddamn fuck? That reason is it's pretty overpowered with him. Basically, in my opinion, any killer that can knock survivors in a fast amount of time is great for a slugging build, which is why, you know, Deathslinger, Huntress, all those things, and they're good for slugging builds, so you know. I'll be talking about perk setups in a while, but then let's talk. I guess I should actually explain his power, not really perks. So let's get into that. A good way to use his power is to not really rely on his trenches too much. In my opinion, if they get touched by it, it happens. It's not really a big deal, because I wouldn't really send them to the cage unless I really need to. And you're probably wondering, when is a good time to send them to the cage? Well, I've made a pretty good idea of when it is. If you've hooked them once and you just down them again, and you don't want to suffer from DS or whatever, or maybe they have borrowed time, like one of the survivors that just picked them up, you downed them again and you realize they have borrowed time, send them to the cage, and you don't have to deal with DS, you don't have to deal with borrowed time. But again, any perks that have to do with hooking is generally not going to work for you either, so it's a win-lose situation, to be honest. But the best thing that comes out of it is his power. And, well, I guess I should move on to that as well. Power is pretty good. Honestly, I think it's the best part of him. It's R2 ability that makes him, like, godlike, to be honest. And so basically, when you're using this, don't just spam it, because if you're spamming it, it's going to be easily dodged. I can stress about this so much, you'll probably get dodged so many times. Like, you'll be shooting it out at people thinking, oh yeah, this is gonna hit, and then it misses them by a fucking centimeter. If they were like a fucking microorganism away, you'd probably be hitting them. But, so, first thing first, use it to zone. And you're probably, for those of you who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, I'm gonna explain real quick. Zoning is a technique where you use it to herd survivors away from things. You make it so they don't want to go there. You think, oh, I don't want to go there because then I'm gonna get hit with that. Then they don't go there, and then you hit them with the basic. And you can also sort of do this with the trails. The trails you can put on pallets, and if most survivors are so, like, they don't want to get tormented, oh my god. They see a torment trench, they start squealing like fucking Jerry from Tom and Jerry. And it's stupid. I don't know why people stress about it so much. Honestly, I've gone against him so many times, and I could care less about getting tormented, because a good survivor will just be able to run around no matter what. And I'll also be making a sort of guide for, like, how to counter him. So, but anyways, let's get back to his power. So his power is good to use on pallets, windows, loops. So basically, if a survivor is running to like a loop, like I say a TL wall, and they're about to vault the window, put your sword into the ground and see what they do next. At this point, it's mainly a guessing game. There's two situations that happen. One, they go for the window, you get a hit, easy hit, you use your R2, and basically, well, there it goes, punishment of damn OP. And the other situation is they don't go for it, and they run to the side and try to go for the L wall or T wall, and then they get hit, and boom, now they're injured. Regardless, they're gonna get hit unless you're stupid and miss it, which is impossible. I've done it a fair few of times, and honestly, it just makes me want to fucking delete the game. But welcome to Dead by Daylight. That pretty much happens every fucking time I play this goddamn game. But anyways, let's talk about the other thing that you can do with this thing, with his R2 ability. And that is going for a sort of prediction hit. And what I mean by that is basically, if say you're running them on the killer shack, they just keep going around, vaulting the window, going around, and all that stuff. And let's say you catch up to them, you smack them, and they try and fake the window. They go through the killer shack. Now, here's what you could do. You can either go through the door, or you can go through the window. Each way they're gonna get to a place where they can just keep looping you and looping you and looping you. But if you try and take a prediction shot with that punishment of the damned, you can maybe end the chase right there. Say they're about to go through the door. You aim it at the door, and well, you just really hope and pray, to be honest. And if you hit them, easy down, and then you can hook them, and then go do whatever you want, or go harass some other people in a gen. Or you miss, and then you have to keep looping them. Regardless, it's gonna be pretty much a win-win situation, because if you miss, then it's pretty much gonna be the same situation as you taking the window or you taking the door. If you hit him, then it's even better, because then you don't have to chase him. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about his power. It's pretty good. Like I said, it's honestly the best thing in his arsenal. I was about to say kit, like it's fucking Overwatch. But yeah, let's move on to good perks on him.
Hey, yo, DJ, put a nigga back to the record, baby, and give me this.
So now we have the big boy stuff. Stuff that I have sat here just fucking sitting on my stupid ass chair, sitting here trying to be big brain. But honestly, I can't fucking think of much. A lot of the time, my perks don't really do much for me. It's mainly just down, and then you down somebody else, and you down somebody else, and you down somebody else. But I've compiled a pretty good amount of perks that work for him. So you probably saw this coming. Save the best for last. It's a really good perk. I honestly should be going into the custom game, so I have all the perks. I'm gonna do that real quick. You probably saw this coming, but save the best for last is a really good perk on him, mainly because he downs fast, and well, he downs fast. The fuck was I going with this? Basically, what save the best for last does is every single time you hit somebody that is not your obsession, you gain a token, and it gives you basically, like, how do I explain it? Basic cooldown. Like if you smack somebody again, the cooldown where you like looking at your blade or you're like wiping the blood off or whatever, that animation will be faster, so you can catch up to the survivor faster. It's good because again, he's good at killing fast. He's down survivors pretty easy, and his power is basically a counter to the bad thing of this perk. So now, as you see right here, it says hitting your session with a basic attack will cause you to lose 2 tokens. And now a lot of people see this and say, oh, fuck that perk, that's fucking stupid. But with a killer that has a special attack, you know, his punishment is the damned, that basically is a complete counter. You just hit him with that and it doesn't lose 2 tokens. You keep your 2 tokens. And yeah, it's a pretty good perk on him. And so next perk, it can be good on any fucking killer. Basically any killer is good with him. Just lowers your tear radius when you're not in a chase, and if you're in a chase, then it increases it by 8. And it also gives you field of view, making you look like you're going fast as fuck. But it really doesn't. And yeah, that's pretty much it about it. It's just good. Surveillance, yes, surveillance. Like the fucking worst perk in the game for any other killer. So basically what it does is whenever you kick a gen or it's regressing, it'll show up yellow. It'll show up white. If it stops regressing and it's at 0, then it'll turn yellow. Or if a survivor touches it, meaning it stops regressing and continues forward, then it will make it stop and show it for a yellow aura for 16 seconds. Now, this is good because, again, he needs gen defense perks. And that's the main problem with him, is he has horrible gen defense. And the main reason is if you could put your like actual, you know, your like trenches on the gen, it would make him serviceable. It would make it so he's not complete dog at defending your gens. He also lacks map pressure. Like Billy has his chainsaw, he can just run around the map real fast. He has really good map pressure. People would argue, oh, he does have map pressure, he has his trenches. Who's gonna run into his trenches? And I actually forgot to mention this when I was doing the part where I described the killer. He actually slows down to a 110 movement speed when you stick your sword in the ground, you're digging the trenches. So yeah, what's your excuse now, Melvin? Fuck. Hex Ruin. This is really good paired with surveillance. And basically what it does is, honestly, do I really need to describe this one? Alright, I'm gonna describe it. When a generator is not being repaired by a survivor, it starts regressing. You don't have to kick it, and it regresses faster. So basically, it's pretty good. It was more overpowered when before the patch. But if it was still like that, all the survivors will be, when the killers are overpowered. What the fuck am I doing? Perk is Infectious Fright. Whenever you down a survivor, anyone in your terror radius will scream, revealing their location. This is good because, again, you're downing fast, so any killer that you can down fast, Infectious Fright is one of your go-to perks. So that's pretty much all I have to really say about it. It pairs very good with Save the Best for Last. If you get 8 tokens, basically down them and just leave them, and just leave them. Boom. It's pretty easy. Anyway, next perk. Next perk is Hex Devourer Hope. Whenever you hook somebody and they get rescued from far away, 24 meters, you gain a token, and basically you already know what it does. 3 tokens, insta down 5, you get to kill them on the spot, blah blah blah. It's good because, again, it's downing fast. Yada yada yada. Next perk is Nurse's Calling. Whenever somebody's healing inside a 20-meter radius, you show their aura, and yeah, you can basically see their aura, and yeah, it's simple as that. You just see their aura. This pairs pretty well with Monitor Abuse, because they'll be healing. They won't think, oh, well, I don't hear his terror radius, so, well, I could just heal, right? It's also heals. It also pairs very well with, the fuck was that perk called again? Trails of Torment. It pairs very good with Trails of Torment because you'll just kick the gen, go see him, they'll be healing. Like, oh, well, I don't hear his I don't hear his terror radius, so let's just heal. And bop, down, you're down. Good job. This next perk is gonna be kind of biased. I know a lot of people are gonna say that this is fucking stupid. But remember when I said about he does not have very good gen protection? Yeah, I wasn't kidding. So, a good perk with him is to make an endgame build. So, Blood Warden would probably be a good perk to start. Blood Warden, what it does is, once the exit gate is open and you hook a survivor, what it does is it will actually block the exit gates and they won't be able to leave. And, again, down fast, hook, and then they're screwed. Now, you probably all saw this coming. Of course, knockout. Slugging build, OP, pyramid head thing. What the fuck am I going with this? Basically what knockout does is whenever you down a survivor, they won't be able to see each other unless they're 16 meters. Yeah, it's pretty good if you want to slug. It's like the one thing that makes slugging pretty good. Probably not ready for this. The Surge is a pretty good perk. Again, he's not good at generator defense. So this is a good perk. You down fast, you down him next to a gen, that generator goes bye-bye, and then boom, yeah. Next perk is I'm All Ears. It's pretty good. Anytime a survivor performs a rush action within a 48-meter radius of your location, it'll show their aura. And this is pretty good because, again, it's easy to know where people are. You can down even faster than what you already are. And yeah, it's just overall a pretty good perk. So, obviously, Corrupt Intervention is a good perk for any killer that doesn't have gen defense. What it does is at the start of the game, 3 generators that are the furthest from where you are will be blocked for 120 seconds. And it's just a pretty good perk. What can I say? So, following the theme of the slugging, Deer Stalker is pretty good. Whenever a survivor's down, it shows you their aura. And yeah, that's just pretty good. Swirling Tremors is pretty good. Whenever you pick up a survivor, any generator not being worked on will be, it will actually be blocked and they can't repair it. And any generators afflicted by it will be highlighted by white. It's pretty good. It allows you to actually have some sort of map presence, I guess you could say. And it basically tells you where to go next. Because if you see a generator that's not highlighted white, you know there's somebody working on it. Phobia is something that I didn't think would be good on him originally, but then I thought about it and I thought, well, it's good for him because he can hurt people fast, and it's helping him with his mat pressure and his gen defense, so it's actually pretty good on him now that I think about it. And of course, running this with Nurse's Calling will make it even better, so that way they can't basically heal, so it'll always be a sort of, oh, do I heal and get killed, or do I leave it and then have everything go 77,000% slower? I know it says 16, shut up. Alright, so at this point I can't really think of any other perks that would be good, so I decided to take all those perks that I said and sort of compile it into a couple of builds that might be your overpowered or meta build for him. And these are the things I got, and I'm going to shut up and let you listen to them.